Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program Colonization Episode 1. This is going to be a series where I'm going to try to colonize pretty much every landable body in the Kerbol system. I'm going to be using a bunch of mods for this. I'm not going to list them all here. I'm going to put a mods list in the description. This is going to be a list on Pastebin with links to all the forum threads. Anyway, let's get started. So, I've actually I've gotten a planet pack, the Outer Planets mod, which is going to be on the mods list. I was originally going to use the Kerbol Plus mod, but there was a glitch 2 episodes I recorded where basically it was a glitch where with upgrading buildings that it made the game basically unplayable. So it's pretty easy contracts. I'm gonna get this one first and then launch. I'm just gonna make a quick spacecraft here to help get some science and some funds for getting scientific data. It's really simple. Just grab a command and put on a goo container. That's the entire thing. Launch it. It's just gonna sit on the launch pad. It's not gonna really do anything. Anyway, we can quickly take a crew report. Goo canister. EVA Jeb. Get an EVA report over the shores. Store that. Put it on the ground. EVA report from the launch pad. Get back in. Review this data. Keep it. Recover the vessel. This should give us enough science to unlock 1 or 2 nodes. Not exactly sure how much. Oh, that actually gave quite a lot. You start with, I guess, let me do some quick math. 9.5. I get some funds back, 100% of the funds, since it didn't really go anywhere. Straight to the R&D department. Now I have installed community tech tree, which is why there's so many nodes. And I also have near future installed, because otherwise, like, you can basically just instantly get everywhere. Now some of these nodes, don't know why I don't have anything in them. Probably because it's partially designed for the Interstellar mod, which I don't have installed. So any of these nodes that are just empty are completely useless. I might actually add some mods just so this isn't useless. I'm going to look at on the forum thread and see what mods I can get, because I want to fill out the tech tree as much as I can. But here, like, so you have some of these advanced solar techs, advanced electrics. You have nuclear power, basic nuclear power, nuclear fuel systems. This is the original nuclear propulsion node. It's that. But anyway, that doesn't really concern us right now. Basically, right now we just want to get started, get some of these basic nodes, get some more science going. I think I'm gonna go for basic rocketry. I don't have enough science to get any of these other nodes. That's fine. So I can get another contract now. I probably won't need it. Anyway, time for the next thing. I'll keep the goo container on for now. Add parachute. Add a thing. The SRB. Put this thrust down for more efficiency. What's that? Put it on a separate stage, obviously. This is going to be another basic craft just to get off the launch pad. The reason I have a low thrust weight is I want it to last as long as possible. Probably be slightly more efficient in terms of how much altitude I can get. So I've done all of this. I'm gonna throttle it up, get a crew report, flying shores, get a goo observation while flying at Kerbol, and I'm just gonna let this play out. I might tilt it slightly, maybe a degree or two, just so I can land near the Space Center, start to get some of the Space Center science. So there, I got a speed record. I've done speed records launching and scientific data, which I haven't checked, which has significantly bumped up the funds. There's another contract that just came in. I'm just gonna let this burn out, which it almost has. I forgot to turn on my stopwatch. And there. So that booster is entirely burned out. I'm gonna go into 3x time warp. Keep getting some altitude records, which is nice. Anyway, we're starting to fall back to the surface. Oh, come on. Let's just deploy the chute now. Disable SAS. Just gonna keep plummeting towards the ground because the chute doesn't have enough drag, and this has too much speed. It's only going 100 meters per second now. It's slowly starting to turn over. It's just because this is so slim, it's very aerodynamic and wants to stay there, but the chute's gonna open and drag it over. Hopefully decelerated enough, yeah. It's now decelerated enough to land safely, so I should be able to recover most of this. Well, never mind. I did not expect that, honestly. Anyway, the reason I wanted to try to turn it over was so I could take that out, put it back in, take an EVA report from, what? Tundra? Pretty sure this is not the Tundra, unless some weird glitch is occurring, which it looks like it is. Anyway, I'm just gonna board and get another crew report from the Tundra. Hold on a second, just wanna check this. Yeah, this is not the Tundra. It's definitely shores. Whatever. I'll take it. Cover this festival. We did lose some cash because of that booster explosion, but it doesn't really matter too much. Still have more than enough funds to make up for it, and we got 19 science, which may be enough to get one of these nodes. I feel like general rocketry would be really helpful, but survivability would also be helpful. I'm gonna go for general rocketry for now. See what other contracts I get. I still only have these escape and orbit. When does it take? Right now I'm just gonna try to get some altitude records. Wish KOS would go away. Okay, so this is the first spacecraft. I do have stack decouplers, so can't put those on here. Ooh. There. So this will be recovered. think I can go any more than that. Anyways. Excuse me. It's a weird noise. I'm gonna turn down both of these boosters so that they have a thrust to weight of about 1. For both. It should get us fairly high. At least let us do some contracts. Then I'm gonna try to turn over slightly and go to another biome and get some more science. So SAS engaged. And let's start to launch. I'm going to immediately turn over slightly. Let's start going in that direction. I want to try to go on those grasslands over there. It should be a fairly easy target. Yeah, I already have that report. Checking these to make sure, see if I can get any more science. I've already done that. Okay, so I'm probably not going to get any new science unless I get to a significant altitude where I can get on the grasslands. So once the solid fuel booster is gone, I'm going to cut that, turn on this engine. I'm going to put it on slowly. That's nice, but it's fairly easy to come out of a stall. It's gone. So, do I have the science? Yes, Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Kerbin's upper atmosphere. That's very useful. I'm not sure if I'm going to land on these mountains. I've definitely gone over the grasslands, but I've completed a bunch of contracts. Distance records, altitude records, etc. Looks like I'm going to land on the grasslands behind the mountains. I kind of want to land in the mountains though. So I'm going to deploy the chute now. It's not going to come out, unfortunately. But once it comes out, it will hopefully slow me down quickly enough to come down on like these hills instead of the grasslands, since the hills are a smaller target. That is partially my fault because I did turn on this booster at max thrust for a time. There goes the chute. And no. Too many aero forces. I should have known that was going to happen. So, note to self, don't turn on the booster all the way. And I'll save some fuel for slowing down in case I can't slow down. Once again, starting to work through the solid booster. This one actually went surprisingly quicker than I expected. But I guess it does have to support all of this other weight, this entire upper stage and other booster. So that's almost gone. And immediately, again, firing the next solid booster, which is going down marginally slower because it has less this rocket is completely stalling out of control. I don't have any influence over it, or hardly any. I can occasionally do a quick burst to try to get it over, but of course now I'm way up in the atmosphere. I need to redo these reports. Excellent. Now I'm back in the lower atmosphere, so I can't do anything again. Looks like I might land on the mountains, depending, which would be cool. I'm just doing these occasional bursts. Okay, this thing is entirely out of fuel, so I should land about here, which could be convenient because I might be able to get science from 2 biomes. Of course, I'm not sure of my radar altitude, but it's more than 3 kilometers. Actually, I have raster prop monitor installed, so I can see this. It's not the best, but whatever. It looks like I'm gonna come to rest in these foothills. And now that I'm coming down to the lower atmosphere, it's slowing down. Excellent. So I'm wobbling the spacecraft back and forth to increase the drag. Slows down quicker, and there's the chute deploying. And it's going way too fast. Whoa. That was really lucky. Lost an engine and the fuel tank. But the jet is fine. He doesn't care. So we got an observation from the highlands. Interesting. Report flying over the highlands. Take and store. Another EVA report from the highlands. This time on the highlands. And a crew report from the highlands. Now I would walk Jeb over towards those mountains, but that's really far away. So I'm just going to recover this vessel. So although lost a pretty good amount of funds from losing that tank and that engine, it's partially because we don't have the radial parachutes. But now that we did that mission, we got 26 science, and we completed a bunch of contracts anyway, so I can unlock survivability, and I can't quite unlock basic science. I would love to do that, but not quite yet. So I can unlock stability as well if I want to. I can get some of these radial decouplers, but I don't think I quite need radial decouplers yet. Might be useful for the winglets, but I'm going to try to save some science for this thing. Well, actually, I'm going to get these because if I'm trying to go suborbital, I'm probably going to need multiple engines firing at once, but this is getting kind of long. So, we started with almost nothing, but we have 260,000 funds already. We got a bunch of science nodes, and I think that's going to be the end of this episode. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, we'll go on a suborbital flight, and see you next time. Bye.